What's up guys? My name is Kenta, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the one thing that you absolutely cannot be trading without. Now when it comes to trading, risk management is the #1 priority when it comes to capital preservation. So in this video, we're going to be talking about using your stop loss. Now, before you exit out of this video because you're thinking to yourself, well, Kenta, I already use a stop loss. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, are you constantly getting stopped out of trades and then having the trade go in your favor? Number 2, are you losing more than you want to or you plan to in one trade? And number 3, are you constantly moving your stop loss to avoid losing the trade? If you answered yes to one or all of these questions, then you're most likely not using your stop loss properly. But don't be discouraged. These are common mistakes that beginners traders make on their journey to using their stop loss properly. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, I actually never use a stop loss, then what I want you to do is I want you to go get your phone, your laptop, your computer, and get whatever platform you're using, whether it's MT4, MT5, or some sort of crypto platform, and I want you to delete your apps and do not trade. Seriously, do not trade if you're not using a stop loss. All right, guys, allow me to paint a picture for you briefly, and bear with me here. Imagine we're in the medieval times and trading is war and the marketplace is a battlefield. Then your stop loss is literally your shield and armor. Think about it. Would you want to go to battle when there's weapons like swords and arrows coming at you to kill you without some sort of protection? Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to get hurt or even die, but I know you're going to survive a lot longer using it. Now, that was a dramatic analogy, but my point is that your stop loss is there to protect you, and you should definitely be using it if you're trying to become a consistently profitable trader. All right, so let's go over those 3 questions. If you're constantly getting stopped out and then having the trade go in your direction, then you're most likely keeping your stop loss way too tight, or you're not trading with the trend. The rule of thumb, especially as a beginner trader, is to keep a wider stop loss. Give your trade more room to breathe. Give yourself a larger margin of error. Instead of getting stopped out over and over 3 or more times, why not give yourself one high probability trade that's going with the trend with a wider stop loss? Think about what that does to your psychology, losing over and over and over again. It's already hard and tricky trading when there's things like fake outs, manipulation, unexpected news. So don't lose more money than you have to getting stopped out a bunch of times. So that leads us to the second question. If you're losing more money than you plan or want to getting stopped out in one trade, then the answer is clear. You're not calculating your risk. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, risk management is the #1 key to capital preservation. So if you're entering trades with random lot sizes because you're greedy, and then you're setting your stop loss, then of course you're gonna lose more money than you plan to in that trade. The answer here is very simple. Figure out how much you're willing to risk on the trade, and then figure out where your stop loss is going to be, and then calculate your risk based on those 2 factors. The answer is so simple. Calculate your risk. All right, guys. So the 3rd question was, if you're moving your stop loss over and over to avoid losing the trade. Now, if you've taken the advice from the previous 2 questions and you're giving yourself a wider stop loss, giving your trade more room to breathe, and you've calculated your risk, then there really is no reason for you to move your stop loss. If you've checked those two boxes, then most likely you have not fully accepted the risk. In Mark Douglas' book, Trading in the Zone, he mentions that there's two things that consistent winners do. They predefine their risk, and then they fully accept their risk, or they're willing to let go of the trade. Now, if you're not confident in the trade, then don't take the trade. But if you're confident in the trade and you've checked those two boxes, then you need to let your trade play out. You need to have patience, like I mentioned in the last video, and let your trade play out. Fully accept the risk. Look, losing in trading is just part of the game. You have to learn to accept that. But you also have to learn to control your losses so that you can stay in the game. There are two types of losers in trading. There's good losers and bad losers. Good losers are able to control their losses and accept their losses because they, one, have confidence in their edge, and two, know that trading is a game of probabilities. Bad losers, on the other hand, they take huge losses that wreck their account and also weaken their psychology so that they either quit trading or, even worse, revenge trade. Don't be a bad loser in trading. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but there's two types of stop losses. There's the hard stop, which you can enter into your platform, so when it hits that number, it exits you out of the trade automatically. And then there's the mental stop, which is basically deciding where that area would be, and when it reaches that area, you would exit that with a market order. Now, as a beginner trader, I highly recommend that you use a hard stop. And if you're not using a hard stop, then just ask yourself this question. When it comes to trading, are you actually psychologically able to handle if it hits that area and spikes through it, and you're seeing the P&L and it's a lot more than you decided you would risk? Are you actually gonna still be able to exit the trade? But either way, if you've taken anything from this video, it's to use a stop loss. Give your trade more room to breathe by giving yourself a wider stop loss. Decide where that stop loss is gonna be, calculate your risk, and fully accept the risk. All right, guys, I hope this video has been able to give you some insight on how to use your stop loss on your journey to become a consistently profitable trader. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Go ahead and smash the like button. And in the comment section below, let me know one of the craziest experiences you've had by using or not using a stop loss. And I wish you guys the most success on your trading journey. And remember to develop your patience. Peace.